Hello, hello, hello. We're going to do something a little different tonight. And let me put my phone down. Uh, so, hi there. How's it going? I am not joining you live tonight because next week is Christmas and we have some family stuff that we're going to be taking care of tonight. And so I didn't want to not go live and not put out a video because there was really something I wanted to talk about tonight, which is about a little bit about copyright, IP infringement, that sort of thing when it comes to a handmade business. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the intro very similar to if I was doing a live, and then we will get right to it. Hi, I'm Heidi. I'm a work-at-home handmade business owner at HeidiMind.com, as well as a homeschool mom of 11-year-old and 13-year-old girls. I go live on YouTube and Facebook on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific, and during the live, I share about things going on with my business, homeschooling, and sometimes our personal lives. Be sure to follow on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube to get notifications when I post videos or go live, and feel free to hit the like or the thumbs up button, as this helps more people just like you come to hang out. I'm not going to go with the hashtag live or hashtag replay tonight because I'm not live. But if you do want to comment with any questions, concerns, ideas, go ahead and do that. I won't be watching at 7 p.m., but I will have my phone on me and I can take little breaks and respond to people, or I can respond later on. So if you are watching this at the regular 7 p.m. Pacific, do feel free to comment at any time. And then if you aren't already subscribed, be sure to check I'm just going to put it in the description. Normally it would be in a pinned post. It's a link to sign up for the email list where you get updates about new products, blog posts, sales, and other fun things going on. I have been doing better about sending out my Monday emails. I have been better about doing Monday blog posts, but Monday is Christmas. So there will be an email. There will be I'm not going to call it a full-on blog post because I don't know if I'm going to do one yet, but there will be something on the blog on Monday. So this evening, I have kind of a script that I'm going to keep referring to, but you know me, I always go a little off the cuff. So here we go. During the holiday season, many people get into the crafty spirit to make handmade gifts. It is shortly followed by the idea of turning those gifts into income. I'd like to say that happened to me, but it didn't. I've always been a seamstress for as long as I can remember. I've tried to dabble in other crafty things, but sewing and machine embroidery are really where my heart lies. So that is what I ended up turning into a business, even though for years I said I wasn't going to. Now, I wish that I had someone back then telling me how to walk through these steps, because I made a lot of mistakes. I still make mistakes. It's just a thing. So at the end of this video, I will be giving a few tips and tricks about places to get started if you are considering turning your hobby into a handmade business. It's companies that I have used. I've paid for their services. I always suggest you check out any free services they offer first before paying for anything. Make sure it's a good fit for you. There are lots of people out there that are coaches, gurus, whatever, but I really feel like you have to vibe with the person or it's not going to work. There are 3 or 4 coaches that I follow fairly regularly, that I am subscribed to their email lists. I have paid for lots of products from them. And it's not just because I believe in what they're saying. It's because their energy, their vibe, it works for me. And I can work with that. There are lots of coaches that their energy and their vibe did not work with me. That's okay. There's lots of people that are using them, and that's fine. But I will put some links to a couple of the coaches that I work with. None of the links that I put will be affiliate links. Everything is I think there's going to be a few Facebook links and then some website links, but everything is just whatever. It's not, I don't get kickbacks from anyone. They don't know I'm doing this. I like them. I trust them. I buy from them. So every few years, a big story will pop up on social media about some little guy getting hit with a major lawsuit from a major corporation or celebrity. Most commonly, we hear about companies like Disney, Nickelodeon, Seuss, but it also includes other companies like sports teams, the NFL, the NHL, the MLB, TV shows, movies, and celebrities themselves, including musicians, especially musicians. If you are not familiar with the Handmade community, maybe you haven't heard this, but I believe his name is Luke Combs. I'm not a big country fan. Sorry, don't come at me. These celebrities, Taylor Swift, I know, is a big one. They have lawyers that will, their sole job is to look for copyright infringement. And I'll go over a little bit of what that means in a few minutes, but their job is to search the internet for people selling their likeness, their lyrics. Even if you just put the name into the product description or the product title, or your tags, these companies will come at you. Now, generally, they will send you a cease and desist. I have gotten a few cease and desists over the years. Some of them were very innocent. I did not realize what I was doing. Some of them I was probably playing with fire. I do try to avoid copyright infringement. I try to avoid IP infringement. There's just a lot of gray area. The general rule of thumb, because I am not a lawyer, and I highly suggest if you want to toe that line, you hire yourself a good one. It's best to just come up with your own ideas. There's lots of places you can go and look up, and I believe that that's on my list as well of things to talk about to find out if you are in danger of infringing. But your idea is going to be the best. It's going to be the most creative. It's going to be the one that you're the most passionate about. And that is what people want from you as a handmade seller. It's my 2 cents. So with this most current lawsuit, this Mr. Combs, his lawyers went out and they sued a whole bunch of people, including one woman who apparently was in the hospital with a heart condition or something. And in her state, it is now legal to send summons through email, and hers went to her spam because that is the luck of the draw in some situations. And she was sued. I think the Combs brand was awarded $250,000 from this one individual who apparently only sold 18 mugs. She makes mugs with the likeness of people and things. On the one hand, I want to feel bad for her because the amount she made was clearly not anywhere near the amount what was granted as her fine, her fee, or whatever, her punishment, if you will. But at the same time, doing a very quick search on this particular person, most, if not all, of the things she is selling are infringement items. She is using the ideas and the likenesses of movies and sports and celebrities. And although she came at it as I'm not doing this to harm anyone kind of thing, this is going to be a big ball of mess for everyone. Mr. Combs very graciously said that he is going to do what he can to alleviate that extra debt. He's helping her out with medical bills. He's doing things, which is admirable from a human standpoint. However, as a business owner in a small handmade business industry, it opens a can of worms. there are a lot of groups out there, whether you're selling on Shopify or Etsy or Michael's, whatever their thing is, Makers Market, something, all the platforms. Where do you draw the line? If you give one person permission, then how do you say no to the next person? I have struggles. I have things that I would love to go up against Disney and say, feel bad for me. I should still be able to use your likenesses. But really, if I was going up against another handmade artist, is that as fair? Just because Disney makes millions of dollars, should I be allowed to steal the imagery, the artwork, the words from another human being that doesn't make as much money? Where do we really draw the line for this? So I did a quick Etsy search. I've done a lot of videos about Etsy. I'm not super happy with Etsy right now. They're low totem pole for me at the moment. But for Handmade, it is one of the biggest websites that you can find a multitude of what's supposed to be handmade. There are over 1 million listings with Disney as part of their titles or tags. Now, I know that Disney, when you search Etsy, their SEO and their search engine specifically looks for titles and tags. It doesn't really go searching through descriptions very much. So I know for a fact they're using Disney as part of their title or as part of their tags, because I know how Etsy works. With other sites, it could actually be in the description as well. Some of these listings even go for the double whammy by mentioning other brands along with Disney, like Dooney and Burke, Stanley Cups, and Taylor Swift. I know Taylor Swift's hot right now with the whole Eras thing, but please, please, please know, girl's got some lawyers, okay? I am not trying to get in a heated debate about right versus wrong, but I do have to say that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And for as many people that are in violation of IP infringement, it's also happening to those small businesses with their own original artwork. I know there are a lot of smaller companies, smaller, businesses that they come up with their own artwork. Has nothing to do with, it's not inspired by, it's not a copy of, it's not fan art. It's their own legitimate artwork that's not AI. They've drawn it themselves. It came from their own heads. And it is being stolen by other companies. The masks that I have sold in my Etsy shop, they have been stolen, for lack of a better word, and reproduced in Chinese markets and then sold for pennies on the dollar of what I would be able to make them for. So it is frustrating. And I'm not a big multi-million-dollar company that can sue a Chinese manufacturer. I don't even know if you can, honestly, because I'm in the United States. I don't know how any of that works. It is what it is. So what is considered IP infringement? In an intellectual property areas, an infringement refers to an authorized use of a copyrighted or patented invention. You can also look up trademark infringement, patent infringement, and copyright infringement. When an infringement occurs, the party being harmed usually will file a claim against the harming party. So you might remember back in school when your teachers would tell you about not copying directly from a book without citing references, plagiarism. It's kind of like that. IP laws exist to protect creatives and their work, and it's important to honor fellow artists and crafters. Complexities around derivatives, licensing, etc., create risks for Etsy shops and handmade businesses. So essentially, Etsy can't, I guess they could, but they can't. They can't just go through their listings and deactivate everybody that writes Disney in the listing. Technically, they could. It's their website. They can do whatever they want with it. But usually the way that their framework is set up is that they don't have the time or the staff to monitor every listing. So they rely on the original trademark copyright holder to find these things, report them, and then Etsy will pull them and say, you know, you've violated this particular thing. So the areas of IP infringement would be trademark, which is using protected logos, character images, slogans, and brands. Copyright is selling the patterns, reproducing artwork, branding too similar to existing IP. And patents, which is making and selling patented products like inventions or unique ideas. So I have a sneeze. I know I can edit this, but I just don't want to edit anything tonight. So the thing is, we're just going to pretend like it's alive and I just sneezed. So IP is in intellectual property. Essentially, you know, companies go through a lot if they're going to trademark, copyright, or patent their whatever it is. They've paid money for that. So it's not even like you're just stealing their ideas. You're also taking money out of their pocket because they've paid for something to be protected. Do I completely agree with all of the trademarking and copyrights? Absolutely not. Years ago, someone, I think it was a copyright. I forget. Pretty sure it was a copyright. Somebody copyrighted unicorn poop. and I and I don't know why I looked that up. You can look up all this stuff. I'm not going to put the links. You can go search Google and find out where to find trademarks and copyrights and all that. And it had to do with like bath and body products. So you could use unicorn poop with regard to the words, with regards to like t-shirts and mugs and embroidery and whatever, but you couldn't use it for bath and body products. Whoever trademarked or copyrighted unicorn poop, big thumbs up, hon. There's also like a big deal right now with, what is it? When things like age out of their copyright trademark, I forget what it's called right now, but like Steamboat Willie is about there and everybody's all up in arms because they're like, wait, hey, we can do like black and white Mickey. I wouldn't touch it. I would not touch that. Just saying. So trademark infringement risks, examples would be making Disney bags, Harry Potter keychains, cases with taglines, and making products that are too similar to existing brands. You'll see a lot of times companies will come out with like Loungefly. We all know my love for Loungefly, and they do have contracts with Disney and Harry Potter and all the other brands that they come out with bags with. They're paying those companies to use the likenesses. They're not just doing it all on their own. And Harry Potter, Rowling, she will come at ya. Yes, she will. So it's not that you can't use, you could come up with your own wizarding world, for lack of a better word. You know, witches and wizards and vampires and werewolves and all the things. It doesn't have to be solely Twilight and Harry Potter and whatever. But make it original. Don't use the exact colors. Don't use the exact names. Don't use their phrases. Copyright infringement issues would be copyright infringement issues is, a big risk is selling patterns or kits without licenses and permissions, and you can't reproduce digital files, artworks, images that are owned by others. When I purchase embroidery designs or PDF files or artwork, it usually has some sort of a copyright, even if it's not something like drawn up by a lawyer, that just says that I'm not allowed to share those things. And part of me is thinking, why would I want to share them if I paid for them? If I pay for it, why shouldn't someone else pay for it? And I kind of feel like everyone should feel that way. We shouldn't just want to give things away. That's not how the world works. That's not putting food on your table. And then patent infringements to avoid would be if you're making a product or process that's patented, you do need to get licensed authority to replicate it. This includes making items with patented tools, machines, and molds. So that's a whole thing. I'm not really familiar with a whole lot that comes to do or has to do with patents. I used to watch Shark Tank a lot, and I know there was the one QVC lady that always wanted everything to be patented. It is what it is. You know, these people go through their channels. It costs a lot of money to do the whole patent thing. I remember people talking about that on Shark Tank. It's a process. So don't sell those people short. Like they did the work. The consequences, if you are on another platform. Now I know Etsy is like a big one that you're always hearing things. If you're in this handmade community, you're always hearing how Etsy's shutting down shops, removing listings, all the things like that. But Shopify is also the same as Etsy. Even though they come off like it's your own website and blah, 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 you're paying them for a service. They can shut you down at any time. Don't get that twisted, please. So the consequences of getting caught with any of these things. I forgot to say Amazon Handmade is also a thing, and they will shut you down as well. Case in point, that Luke Combs thing, Amazon will not release funds to that woman until she's paid back that lawsuit. So they're working that out too. But apparently something that I just heard, they have like $5,000 of hers held up that they're not going to release. And it's their website. They don't have to. If she broke the rules. So the least of all your problems could be that you get listings removed. I have had listings removed. Your shop could be suspended. You could get poor reviews. There are crazy people out there that will specifically target you if they think you're selling something that is an IP infringement, just so that they can give you a really crappy review when they receive it. I don't know why they do that. That's weird to me. Definitely financial penalties and legal proceedings. Most companies will send you a cease and desist. I don't know if that's, again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if that's the law. I don't know if they have to send that to you to start out with. It's appreciated, because if you accidentally, if you didn't know this, if you got something that was a little too close, it's appreciated to get that little notice and then to pull it right back. I did have a card holder that had artwork that an embroidery designer came out with, and I did not know that this particular piece of artwork was copyrighted. I got a notice from the company in New York in the US letting me know that it was copyrighted. I potentially could have looked into it further. I could have gone and looked up their copyright, seen if it covered what I was doing. But the thing is it was their artwork, and I wasn't going to argue that. It was a mistake that I didn't do my due diligence on, and I pulled those items because that's not right. And they were very kind to me. They didn't come at me guns blazing. They just said, hey, this is our copyrighted image and you need to not sell that. And I said, okay, I'm very sorry. No harm, no foul, I guess. It also damages brand reputation and customer trust. Again, some people will search you out only for those things just to try to take you down because they think that they are internet heroes. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I don't know. It's a whole gray area of you shouldn't be selling it and it's not really their job. So, whatever. So the best practices to avoid these problems: vet your designs and concepts thoroughly up front. Seek licensed use of external content. If it's possible to get licensing, if it's possible to get some kind of use, whatever that is, go for it. What's the worst they can say? No? You already have a no. One of the coaches I follow, Starla Moore, she has this entire, I want to say she's got a whole playlist about how she reached out to an author that she follows, reads the books of, and they collaborated, and it's completely on board. That she has the permission of the author. It's fabulous. So if that's what you're looking to do, you're probably not going to get licensing with J.K. Rowling, just saying. But there are so many authors that are coming up, and it's a great way for them to get publicity as well. As long as your products are good, make sure you have good products. Use only original graphics and slogans, which is getting harder and harder, I feel like, with AI. I did a whole video about AI and the handmade world. It's a very gray area for me, mostly because this script that I'm reading, my key points, I used AI to get. So I do use AI. I definitely take advantage as much as possible of those things, because I know that if I go to one of the search engines that I use for AI to write scripts and to write blog posts and that sort of thing, there are a few that I use that I trust. I read over them first, and then I do a little research, make sure that it's accurate, and then I change what I need to change. So I still think that a human touch is always necessary. I don't do a whole lot of artwork myself. I don't think of myself as very artistic and creative in that way. So, but I can usually tell if something is like AI artwork versus what somebody drew, even if they drew it on an iPad, or, whatever, drew it electronically. There's usually a bit of a difference. And I think that should be something that people advertise when they're selling things. If you're going to use AI, just advertise it. Let us know, because if we don't want to support that, we shouldn't have to. And always, always, always consult an IP lawyer with any uncertainties. Do I have a lawyer? No, I don't. But I am choosing to try to stay away from those things as much as possible. Again, there's so much gray area with things. There is a digitizer for embroidery that I have been following since the beginning of my embroidery days. So a good over 10 years, 13 years. And she does a lot of Disney, Nickelodeon. I don't know if she's ever done anything with Harry Potter. She does not use the licensed names. And I've had conversations with her online, and she's just, nobody's ever really come after her. As long as she doesn't say that she's Disney, they don't always come after you. That's not advice to keep doing it. I'm just saying that the more blatant you are about it, the harder they're going to come at you. Because a year or two ago, there was these people, I think in Florida, I saw some of their listings. It literally said it was Disney merchandise, and it wasn't. It was knockoff stuff. And they'll come after you hard for that, because that's not right. That's not right. So essentially, IP mistakes can really, really hurt your handmade business. With diligence, savvy, and craftpreneurs. What does this sentence say? I don't even know. I don't know if I want to cut that out or not. I don't know. Essentially, do your homework, do your research, and if you do that, you can usually stay away from infringement hazards, we'll call them. So, essentially, why did that come up together? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some links. The first links are going to be Facebook links, because that is where I find these coaches, or I guess I'm going to call them coaches, business leaders. I don't know, something like that. I'll also put a link for the first one. Paper and Spark has a Facebook page. She's got a few Facebook groups. Some of them are like you have to pay for products to get into them, and some are free. I really wish I had found Paper and Spark from the beginning. Well, these three Facebook ones, I wish I had found the minute I decided that I was going to do a handmade business. Paper and Spark is great for bookkeeping, for inventory. She's got this great spreadsheet you can purchase. She does a lot with tax time, where I've done her boot camp a couple of times, I think, where even if you have done zero bookkeeping for an entire year, she breaks it down for you. I think she says that they're bite-sized pieces, and it really helps you work through catching up on your bookkeeping. It gives you a good process. Her inventory work spreadsheet is phenomenal. She also does some other coaching for different things. Her pricing guide is pretty spot on. It woke me up to a lot of things that I did not think about when creating pricing structures for my business. The next group would be the U.S. Products Safety Compliance. Especially when I was doing Handmade for children, for years, I've been getting emails from whatever the compliance is for the United States, the children's stuff. I get emails basically daily with recalls and whatever. I don't think there's been one or two things that I've purchased that have actually popped for that, but for the most part, they never have. But it is important. She has, I can't think of her name right now. She has some great courses that you can purchase about how to be compliant when you're selling in a handmade business. I know that it covers a lot of things. There's children's toys, there's clothing for adults, there's clothing for children. There's lots of different levels for that. She does do some free stuff in the group, but that was a really eye-opening experience being part of that group. And then there is also the Accounting US Tax Group. That's not the name of her business, and I can't think of the name of her business. I did an inventory course with her one year, and she's amazing. I had no idea inventory was so detailed. So that was eye-opening. And then the business coaches that I follow for Etsy, number one is Starla Moore. She's amazing. She has tons of free content on her YouTube channel, and she has courses. She just closed for her Handmade Alpha Academy, which I do belong to, but I think she has some other mini things that she sells otherwise, and she will be opening up Alpha Academy in a couple of months, or a few months. I think it's every 6 months. But if she has a free Facebook group, she's amazing. Stacey Storino, I know you've heard me talk about, if you've watched my channel, you've heard me talk about Stacey Storino before. Her focus is not so much on Etsy and handmade selling as it is on just social media marketing in general. And that is important because whether you're selling handmade, whether you're a coach or a content creator, social media marketing is important all across the board for those. So she is absolutely phenomenal. I want to say I have every single course that she has ever offered because I think she has a lot to say. It's very important. She also has some fantastic free content on her YouTube channel. And I believe she said she's going to be starting more new content in the very near future. I want to say it's in January. She usually does like a 30-day cycle where she puts out some new content after the first of the year. More recently, I have been following a couple of others. I I'll go ahead and I'll put them in there. Alicia with Pixie Stock. I have not done her course, although I do own it. I'm hoping to dig into that next year. Again, it's not about handmade selling as much as just overall social media content. And I don't know, I know that she touches on the whole product thing, but again, I think she's a little bit more content creator, coach focused. But she's lovely to watch. She has some great things to say. So I felt very confident purchasing from her. And she has a lot of free content. And yeah, the only other one would be Social Glow, Katie. She has an Instagram that I believe she puts free content on. She does have an email list where she sends out, obviously, her products that you can purchase. I have quite a few of those. And every once in a while, she'll do like a free boot camp kind of thing. I love her vibe. Like, something about it is very calming. It's very peaceful. It's very positive and uplifting. So when I do watch her coaching, it does tend to give me lots of great ideas about directions I want to go in, both with my products and with my social media advertising. So I think it's just something at least worth mentioning, just because I don't feel like she has the same following as the other three coaches, but you got to start somewhere. She's also located in the UK and I'm in the US. So her following might be greater in other places. I don't know. But I don't know. There's just something about her that I really, really like. And I purchased quite a few things from her over the years. So there we go. If you do have any questions about being a handmade business owner, about Etsy, about WordPress or WooCommerce, then do feel free to drop your questions in the comments. I do not sell on Shopify. In my opinion, that and Amazon Handmade, for me, they are very expensive and I don't see myself turning enough profit to learn those platforms. That's probably horrible to say, but I have my own website, so it doesn't make sense for me to belong to another selling platform that's going to charge me whether I'm selling or not. I already do that with Etsy. I do have a shop on Michael's, I want to say it's called Maker's Market. It doesn't have any products in it right now. I was one of the original betas that came in when they first launched. They have a lot of things to work out. I had a few listings and they expired and that was fine. Their shipping, I didn't love their whole shipping process. Their listing process was fairly easy, but there were a lot of things I didn't love. So if I do dig back into that, then I will be sure to do a review on whether or not I will be moving forward with that platform. But always feel free to ask questions. If there is something that you would like me to cover that does have to do with machine embroidery, handmade selling, the platforms that I mentioned, then again, feel free to put that in the comments and I will try to either discuss that on a live or I will do a recorded video. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight. And if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like or a thumbs up, follow or subscribe. And normally I say hashtag live, hashtag replay, but you don't have to do that because everybody's watching on the replay. All of these interactions not only help to push the video out to more people that would enjoy them, they help me know what content you are enjoying the most. So until next time, next week is the 27th. I may be doing another recorded video because that is my youngest daughter's birthday and I will no longer have an 11-year-old. I will have a 12-year-old. I'm getting that much closer to having 2 teenagers. It's frightening. So yeah, So I will probably do a recorded video for that. I'm not sure yet. I might do like a sew along kind of a video, just because I wanted to start doing sew with me's, like my embroidery on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays during the lives, but we'll see. And I'm going to be working on that whole connectivity problem too, because that was really weird and I'll have to work through that. So anyways, it was great hanging out and I will see you next time.